We're taking a look at the Flanagan residence today. It's a project that we are completing construction of right now. We're in the final stages of the final punch list. The project is looking really beautiful. It's on the shore of Conesus Lake. And we didn't work on the design for this building, but we teamed up with a local architect that we are good friends with. And we were the general contractor on the project. And yeah, it's been a great partnership between us and SmartDesignArchitects. And we're really enjoying seeing this thing coming to fruition after all the months and months of hard work that we put into it. And I just wanted to take a minute to kind of walk you through the plan, show you the design, and then we can cut to some of the finished videos and photos of it. So, like I said, it's on the shore of Conesus Lake in Livonia. Really cool project. You can kind of see a 3D here on the front page. It's a 3-story house. And this is kind of an interesting project because it was originally a garage for an existing house that is there on the water's edge right now. This is an accessory dwelling unit. You can see the Flanagan ADU accessory dwelling unit here at the top of the page. They call it an accessory dwelling unit because it's a second residence on the same lot. So the homeowner's plan is this is their retirement home, and then they're going to be living, or the rest of their family, their daughter and her husband and family are going to be living at the original house that's on the water's edge. So if you kind of look at the plan here, you can see that a little bit. This is the water's edge on the site plan. The existing home is right about here. These are the lot lines. And then this is the roadway. This is where the garage was that we have now converted to this full-time residence. So this was the original garage that was there. And oftentimes in architecture, we used dashed and dotted lines to represent what is going to be demoed or removed. So you can see that the original garage structure, basically the whole thing is in dashed lines. So we ended up basically tearing down the whole thing and just reusing the foundation that was there. So it's practically a new build. Some of the challenges that we faced on this project were the site constraints. Not a whole lot of room to work. It's not a really big site, so staging grounds was a bit of a challenge. Some of the other challenges that we faced during this build, there was a lot of power lines that were on our side of the road, and this is almost a 3-story building. So we had to sort of maneuver our equipment, our cranes and everything around those power lines. So the framing and the exterior finishes took a little bit longer than they normally would because we were sort of navigating the challenges of this unique site. And what's kind of unique about this build is that the basement occupies all of our mechanical work, which is kind of normal. But the first floor is where the bedrooms and stuff like that are, which is a little bit counterintuitive, because that's also the same level that you're entering the residence. So when you look at the plan here, you can kind of see all of the the bedrooms, the office and second bedroom and the primary bedroom. All of those functions are on this first floor level. And then you can see here on the side, this is the entrance to the building. And there's a nice, generous entry hall space with a closet. I really like the sequence that SmartDesignArchitects had thought about when they were bringing people into this house. So there's sort of a public space here as soon as you enter, and then you're given the opportunity to go up the stairway, which brings you to the more public aspect of the building. Some other unique features of this house are the craft room on this lower level. And this is kind of fun because the homeowner had some really beautiful old stained glass doors that we retrofitted for this opening right here. And it just turned out to be one of those really nice, subtle details in a new home that kind of gave it a really, kind of classic feel. So we really enjoyed that part. The master bathroom, we kind of tweaked this. This part of the project went through a little bit more of a design phase after this drawing set was completed. So what we ended up doing here is we kind of reconfigured this space. So if this was the bathroom, what we ended up doing was we created a sort of linen closet here, and then we made an entire full-length custom walk-in shower, tile shower in this area right here. And we ended up placing the toilet in this corner, and then we went for a really nice large vanity along this edge. And we ended up doing some really kind of custom stuff in here. This door right here, we had to build a floor to ceiling panel door that kind of matched all the rest of the doors in the residence. So there's a lot of little moments in this house like that we really, enjoyed kind of building some uniqueness into it. But ultimately this ended up with being a very spacious bathroom, a really, really nice master bathroom suite. Then we go into the second floor, and this is where all of the public functions of the building happen. And part of the reason that Todd at Smart Architects had decided to sort of flip the program and put the more public spaces on the second floor, including the kitchen, the dining room, and the living room, is because of the site. So when you're at the site and you're on the second floor, this floor level is actually higher than the building that is on the water's edge. So what's nice about that is you can sort of see this bank of windows along this edge of the building and this nice glass door right here, and this second story balcony along this side of the building. And what's nice about this is as soon as you get to the top of this stairway, you're given these really kind of cool views out to the water and over top of the original lake house. So what I really enjoy about this is that Todd over there at Smart Architects was thinking through, like, how can I make this building as valuable as the first building that was there? And it's by building in this exposure to the lake, because that's the whole point in being at the lake, right? Is to be able to have that exposure to it. So that was the reasoning behind him flipping the program, and putting the more public functions on the second floor. Whereas we're kind of used to, in most cases, putting our more private program on the second level, such as our bedroom spaces. But yeah, so you can kind of see here in the plan that as soon as you get to the top of the stair, you have the great room. Their dining space is kind of in this corner. Their living room space is on this edge. We ended up doing a really cool fireplace jut out right here. And then we have some custom seating areas, little reading nooks, if you will, along this edge. In the kitchen, we teamed up with Custom Cabinetry out of Perry. They ended up building our cabinetry and installed our countertops. And we really enjoy working with these guys because everything that they do is custom. So we have this really high-end kitchen. And if you notice, we have the more functional program of the public space kind of pushed to the non-lake side of the house. So you can kind of see here, again, the architect, our friend Todd, was thinking through, okay, I'm gonna put the more functional stuff towards the road, and then I'm gonna put the more open spaces towards the water and the glass walls. And that's smart on his part because, again, he's just further emphasizing or exposing the people within the space to the views out this glass wall. And what's nice about that too is, you've got your more functional stuff along this edge, and then your more programmatic open program here, interior space. And then you have another layer, which is the balcony, which just further exposes you to those beautiful lake views. So taking a look at the exterior of the building, the architect was sort of pulling some of the materiality from the existing house that's there. So you can see on this one elevation that he's sort of using a mix of clapboard siding and cedar shake siding. And this is all vinyl materials. This is going to withstand a bit more of that lakeside weather than just traditional wood. I love traditional wood or LP. But these two vinyl products ended up working really well. And the thing about vinyl is I'm not so opposed to using vinyl. Some architects are, they'll freak out when they hear the word vinyl because it's like, ugh. But honestly, I think it's in how you handle the details around it. So the major issue that most people have with vinyl siding is the details for like how you come to corners or how you come to windows, and people just don't like J-trim. J-trim in vinyl is what makes it look kind of cheap, right? So you'll see here a lot of the details around the windows for this building and a lot of the frieze boards and the trims. We designed them so that they actually become the trim that receives the vinyl. And because of that, it just gives the house a much more high quality appearance as opposed to like using vinyl J or vinyl corners or that kind of thing. Some other details that he built into this is a very sort of craftsman style home. The original home was a very craftsman style home. So he's sort of pulling some of that into here, and you can really see this play out in a lot of like some of the details where we have these corbels, these brackets that are along the edges of each side of the building. You can also kind of see it on the driveway side where we're sort of breaking up the facade with things like some stonework and stuff like that below. And just fun little moments, like, we have this circle windows in the upper level, which is a cathedral ceiling, by the way, in that upper public space. And it's amazing how much light these simple windows will bring into that space. It makes a huge difference in the overall quality of that space. You just want to be there because of the amount of natural light. And this is really only a 3-foot round circle window, but it's on both ends of the building, and it just washes the interior of that upper space with a lot of natural light. So it just feels good to be in there. So yeah, and then, it's just a matter of, I'm gonna switch. This is some of the details showing, this cross section is actually an important one to take a look at, so you can kind of see the elevations here. So this is the ground level. So looking at the cross section through the house, this is a nice moment where you can kind of see how the different levels are playing with the site. So up at the top portion of this, we have the driveway, which is about at the first floor level. We have the first floor level, which is here. And then as you sort of move towards the lake and towards the other house, the land kind of drops down in the roadway behind it, and then you end up at a lower level here. So the basement's a walkout situation. Could very easily be finished off for additional living space down the road. What the architect was trying to do was to elevate people. So if this is the public space up here, and again, you can kind of see that cathedral space, either end of this is those two circle windows up in here that washes this upper level with just tons of light. And because you're getting people up this high, you can kind of imagine that you're giving them that nice view out. You're sort of placing them higher in elevation, and it really emphasizes the lake views. So yeah, I love this section because it kind of shows all the little nuances, the little details that make this house so special. Other things are the extension of the living quarters downstairs, and then this custom balcony where we had to basically come up with a water shed detail and an insulation detail that would work with this deck, this balcony over top this living space, you know? So that was a really fun moment that we got to really do some unique problem solving, honestly. And that's probably my favorite thing about some of these projects is just, you know, the unique problem solving that we have to incorporate to really follow through and make the build really special. So I just want to finish on this page here. This is a really nice three-dimensional view of the house. And again, it's just kind of showing you the different layers of the project, different levels, right? The basement, the private level, and the public level. And you can kind of see all the craftsman details that sort of marry this to the existing home and just the overall flavor of this area of the lake. And you begin to pick up on some other details like this eyebrow window. I really enjoy this sort of extension of, or this sort of elevation, this lifting of the roof in this area to allow for this transom window above. That's another nice subtle detail that just gives this house a little bit of that something extra. So yeah, it's been a really fun project with a really great client. We've really enjoyed the process of working with Smart Architecture, teaming up with other architects, other great architects in the area, seeing the build project through and working with some really incredible people. So we really look forward to sharing some finished views of this project once they're ready. So what's nice about that is you can see this sort of bank of walls. Sorry, bank of walls. What's a bank of walls, Sean? You can sort of see this bank of windows pulling from some of the...
You're going to redo Excel's just looking this.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Need something fresh to use.
Come on, Sean.
Well, you heard me do it and then you immediately started talking.
That's okay. You know, I give them a lot of credit for this project, and I would like to think I would handle this.
Sorry, it just went to my screensaver.
Okay.
My bad. Sorry.
All right.
Surprised it went that long.
That's okay.